Hey guys, it's the Unsmooth Criminal, and I'm here with a what if that has been beaten to death. Yeah, it's been beaten to death multiple times over and done many different ways by many different people. And personally, my favorite is done by Void Spawn What Ifs. You can find the playlist in my playlist section. I put it together for him because he didn't have a playlist of it. So you can find it there, and it's really cool. So what if Deku was experimented on? And I want to do my own version with my own little twists and turns. So mine is what if Femme Deku was experimented on? And if anybody remembers the Viper Toby Kadachi from Monster Hunter World, you'll know exactly who I'm gonna base her abilities on. So she is born quirkless in a world where pretty much nobody's quirkless. Maybe the 0.0000001% of the world, but pretty much no one's quirkless. Throughout all of Japan, there's absolutely no quirkless people except for this child that's born. The mother figures that out after 4 years, and she's like, fine, just get it out of my house. I don't care what happens to it. So someone comes and picks up the child. And the child is said that it doesn't need a name anymore. Its name is now Subject 2. And she asks, what? They go, don't talk unless told to talk. And so she stays quiet because her mother pretty much did the same thing for a while. So we go to the facility. Yes, the facility. Dun dun dun. No, Leo. No. Bird. Freaking God. Cat's jerk. I'll deal with that in a minute. But they're at the facility, and she gets put in a cell with another little girl. And this little girl is her same age, but she has white and red hair. And this little girl is in pain. And so she walks over and asks if she could help, and the little girl just shakes her head no, that she doesn't know why, but this pain will never go away. So we skip a year. And Subject 1 is now a spider hybrid. Yes, a spider hybrid. Not that one. That one. She now looks like this. Her hair is completely white. And she can control every single element. Heat, or fire, water, earth, lightning, light, dark, whatever you think you can manipulate, she can manipulate. But on the other hand, Subject 1, this one, hold on, delete, there you go. Subject 1, I was just asking someone what that was. Not even the person who gave this picture to me knows. Thanks, sis. I'm forever scarred by that image. And Subject 1 has the ability to put a paralytic poison on claws, fangs, and just secrete it and slap people with her tail, because she got a tail, and paralyze them with the barbs on her tail. And Subject 1 and 2 got so close that they're pretty much family already. Because they have literally experienced the same thing. Being poked, prodded, stabbed, injected. But someone new comes in after another year. Like, I got a surprise for you. And they're like, I'm like, since you're developing really well, and they've grown to full maturity adults, in the 6 years that they've been alive because of growth serums and test tubes that they're put in for like multiple months to increase their rate of growth. Don't know. And they're full grown, and this little girl walks in, and her hair's black. She has 2 horns on her head. And hopefully I find the picture real quick. I'll be right back. She's starting to gain the organic armor, like in this picture, because that armor is growing out of her skin. She's starting to get the organic armor over her entire body, but all she has right now is black hair and black horns. And she looks like she's 2-ish. And subject 1 and 2, they go, take care of her. And if she's not awake within an hour, you're getting punished. And they go, yes, sir. And they walk over to the little girl, and they slowly try to wake her up, not trying to startle her. And subject 2 hugs her. And she, airy, because it is airy, snuggles into subject 2's arms. Yes, I'm aging Airy up just a tiny bit, because she has fur. Very soft fur at that. Unless she wants to poison someone, then it turns into barbs. So, she's like, oh, this is cute. And she slowly wakes up Airy, and Airy sees who it is, and she gives a toothy grin, like, hi. And Airy, being a 2-year-old, starts to giggle at the goofy face that subject 2 is doing. And they subject 1 taps on the door going, sir, she's up. He goes, good. She'll be back in an hour. And this is where things are going to go downhill for the scientists, at least. Airy still does have her quirk rewind. Yes, I'm keeping her with the quirk rewind. But she also gains quirks faster than other people. And subject 2 got attached to Airy. Like how a wolf imprints on the wolf's cubs, and they have an instinct to protect those cubs. That kind of attachment. So, and she has heightened hearing, smell, sight, strength, agility. While subject 1 is all about firepower. So, subject 1 just has increased sight and smell, not hearing. And subject 1 is currently just sitting there waiting for Airy to come back, and then she sees subject 2 start to cry. And she's like, why are you crying? And subject 2 says that the little one is being hurt. I can hear the screams. And she's sobbing while saying this, and subject 1's like, okay. I know we're not supposed to know each other's names, but what is your real name? And she goes, Deanne. And she goes, okay, Deanne. Well, my name is, hold on, I forgot the name. It's in Discord. And she says, my name is Rose. I can't believe I forgot that name. I'm an idiot. And so this goes on for years, and Airy gets so many quirks that she can only control them when she's mentally sound. And she's only mentally sound when she's near Deanne or Rose. So... Deanne and Rose are now 10. Mentally 10, but they're physically 20. They're going to stay physically 20 because they have basically immortality with all their quirks. So, when they turn 10, they bring in a specialist, a behavioral and teaching specialist. And this behavioral and teaching specialist teaches Deanne and Rose about life, and she's basically brainwashing them to follow the instructions. But it helps that they have implants in their brains that if they go off a script or say things that they're not supposed to, it's going to go boom. Suicide Squad, sorry. Sorry, not sorry. So, Deanne and Rose are sent out on missions. They're 10 right now. They've been trying to kill, they've been trying to fight, and they're 10. Mentally 10. UA is a college in this one, by the way. So I got another 8-ish years before they can get into UA, because I'm making them heroes. And there was a legend about a creature called the Tobi-Kadachi in this AU's backstory, about how it could paralyze with just one scratch. It could paralyze with just a gaze or a brush of its tail. And there's been murders of senators, high-ranking people, low-ranking people, villains, heroes, in the same way that the Tobi-Kadachi murdered or killed. And then there was a legend about a spider queen that could control and manipulate every element with spiders. And there's been murders in the way that this spider queen killed. Put them in a cocoon and just torture them with a certain element that they're weak to till they're dead. And this goes on for another 4 years before Aizawa sees her, Tobi-Kadachi. I'm going to say lightning wolf. When he sees the lightning wolf, it's so hard to say that name. When he sees the lightning wolf, he sees a little child with them. And this child looks roughly 5, 6, maybe 7 at this point. And she's protective of this child. Anybody that she doesn't allow near it, or is forced to allow near it, she doesn't let near. And he sees this, and he sees that she has a cut on her arm, the child. And he walks up to see if he could help, and she starts growling at him because she's overprotective of Aerie. And Rose sees this, and she retracts her spider legs because she's currently hiding on the ceiling. And she jumps down and goes, can I help you? And this is the one time that they have free time to go out and see the world for what it truly is. A fricked up mess. And he goes, yes, I saw that she had a cut. I was going to give her a bandage. And he pulls out a Band-Aid. And she goes, thank you, but we've got it handled. He goes, okay. And he puts the Band-Aid back up. I'll leave you to it then. And he walks away. And he knows exactly who that woman with the child is. He knows that that's the rumored lightning wolf. So he's like, okay, We could hit her all we want and nothing would happen. But if we touch that little child, we're dead. So he fills in a report of the situation, and he says that the Spider Queen and the Lightning Wolf are both very protective over a child, and if they can get the child's trust, they can get the trust of the two killers. And Nezu sees this report and asks if there's any legitimate reason for this, and he goes, yes, I ran into them, and the child had a scratch, and she was crying like she's a 2-year-old, and it seemed to bring back traumatic experiences for both the Lightning Wolf and the child. So if we could somehow help the child mentally and physically get over these experiences and hopefully bring the Lightning Wolf and the Spider over to our side, we could stop crime a lot better. And he goes, that's good in theory, but how are we going to get them over to our side? We don't even know where they go to hang out or live. And he goes, oh, don't worry, I left this tracker on the floor and the Spider Queen dropped on it. And the tracker turns off. And he gets a ding and he sees it and it starts flickering. And it's not a normal flicker pattern. And he goes, why is the tracker flickering? And he shows Nezu, and Nezu immediately recognizes the flicker pattern. It's an SOS. And Nezu's eyes widen, going, is that tracker able to be turned off and on? And he goes, yeah, but the switch is so small that you can't flick it with normal hands. And he goes, well, apparently the Spider can, because she's putting an SOS out there. And he's showing exactly where it is. It's at the base of Mount Fuji. And he goes, we need to find a way to get them out legally. And he goes, okay. And so she stops flicking it because she expected him to see it. And he did. And all of a sudden he starts turning it off and on in Morse code. And she's learned how to do Morse code from she's learned Morse code because she needs to communicate with Deanne sometimes over a long distance, and they can't talk out in public unless they're approached first. So she would tap on the ground with her foot or spider leg to get her attention and start doing Morse code. And she reads it like, we need help legally getting you out of there. And she sends it back like, okay, what do you need me to do? And they're having a full-blown conversation with the tracker. So she tells her entire story. Not Deanne's. Rose tells her entire story and how they're treating them in the facility. She goes, I don't know where this facility is. We're in a truck for like 10 minutes. Then we get on a helicopter for like 20 minutes and then we're here. And he goes, that's a 3-minute drive. Where they are now is a 3-minute drive. And so over the next, so they're 14 at the time, over the next 4-ish years, Rose and Deanne are still doing the jobs because they have to. Aerie doesn't have a bomb in her head, but she still has a ticking time bomb as her quirks. So Aerie hasn't killed. Deanne mostly kills. And Rose is normally the one who keeps everybody distracted with illusions, bubbles of darkness when it's night. She just does everything to keep them out of the way. And on Deanne's 18th birthday, they hear Aizawa at the door of the facility. Oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. Deanne hears Aizawa at the door of the facility. And she has photographic memory, or auditory exact memory, whatever, photographic memory. Yeah. Where she can remember the voices and faces and put them together easily. And she goes, how'd that hero know we're here? And Rose goes, yeah, that's my doing. And she pulls out the tracker, and they hear a knock at the door, and she stuffs the tracker in a basically a pocket that she had. She normally kept it on one of her spider legs so it wouldn't be seen. And the mercenary men that were in the facility come running in, and they tell them to stay quiet and stay in here. And all the mercenary men are currently crammed in this room pointing guns at Eri. Because if Deanne moves, she can withstand an entire tank shell before she would go down. Like, it takes like 3 rounds from a tank to put her down. On the other hand, if you do hand-to-hand combat with Rose, you just cut one of her legs off and she slowly dies from bleeding because she has her blood can't clot very easily. Forget the name of that genetic disease. Forget the name of that. So she would bleed out, and so they just stand there, and they hear, "Oh, I am here," on the outside of the building, because he's loud enough to, and the scientists are going, "Oh, hello, are you here for the inspection too?" And he goes, "Yes, I'm here for a specific reason." And he goes, "What would that be?" I'm the censor in this search, so I'm the one who's going to be conducting the search. And you think, oh, their cell's going to be soundproof because they were expecting All Might. They weren't expecting All Might, so they forgot to turn on the soundproofing. And All Might has the aesthetica of the rogue hero, where he can hear the tears drop from any person in the world. And Eri is crying. If anybody's watched the anime Aesthetica of a Rogue Hero, I may do that as a quirk one day, because I think that's a really good quirk. Or a manipulation. Or energy manipulation. That is a really freaking good quirk. But we go to when he's passing by the room, and the room is pretty much airtight, and it's super thick with steel, so even if he had super hearing like he does, it would take him a little bit to actually hear what's going on in the room. He walks by the room, and a teardrop falls. He hears it, and he asks the scientists, "What's behind this wall?" And they go, "Nothing. That's the next building over." And Aizawa pulls up the schematics and goes, "That is the next building over." Then he pulls up the schematics of the next building, and it shows that it's this building. And he goes, "Okay, there's something wrong here. All Might, break the wall down." And every single scientist pulls out a quirk canceling gun, which literally allows them to stop quirks from working for 10 minutes if someone is shot with the round. And Aizawa goes, "If you do that, that's assault on a hero, and we have permission to become violent." And they go, "Yeah? What we have behind that door is more dangerous than both of you." And Aizawa goes, "Yeah, I know. But I have 2 people behind that door that are willing to kill. And they've already done it." And All Might goes, "What do you mean, Eraserhead?" And he goes, "Well, you know the Tobi Kadachi, the monster that's been killing people?" And he goes, "Yes." And you know the Spider Queen that's been running around killing people too? He goes, yes. Well, they contacted me 4-ish years ago, and the people are like, that's when we give them a vacation for a single hour. And he goes, they contacted me 4 years ago, and they asked for help. We finally got enough to prosecute you guys, and they are the witnesses. So if they are behind that door and they are in that room with a little girl, then my case is closed. Even if you kill them, my case is closed. And the scientists are all sweating bullets because they know All Might is gonna break down the door, and so they put the guns away, and All Might opens the door, and the mercenaries opened fire on Eri. But what they did not expect was for Eri to pull out her quirks. Eri's quirks. Sorry, let me get to Deanne's quirks. Strength, speed, limb regeneration. So if a limb gets cut off, she has the ability to regenerate any limb, even the head. So she's pretty much immortal. Then she has double brain and 4 arms. So she has 2 brains in her body. So her quirk stems from 2 spots in her body. And she has 4 arms. So she has 2 arms underneath her original 2 arms. 2 additional arms underneath her arms. On to Rose's quirks. She has Spider Queen as a quirk. So she can control and manipulate any spider within a 1 mile radius. She has Hive Mind as a quirk, which connects her to any spider within a 1 mile radius. She has Spider, which makes her get spider legs on her back. But since she already has 2 arms, she gains 3 additional arms on each side of her body. So she gains 8 legs with actual arms. She can create silk from the Spider Queen ability, or spider ability. She has fire control, ice control, dark control, light control, electricity control. She has control over everything. Anything that has energy in it, she can control. Except matter. Matter can't be controlled by her. She can control earth, so like earth bending, fire bending, water bending, things like that. But she doesn't have to do the bending. She just thinks earth, fire, water manipulation, dark manipulation, light manipulation, plant manipulation. She can control plants. She can't bend reality. Then on to Eri. Her quirk. Start off the list. Rewind. Her second quirk. Nightmare of Night. Third quirk. Nightmare of Day. Fourth quirk. Demon in Life. Fifth quirk. Abomination. Sixth quirk. Loving Sacrifice. You guys know where I'm going with this? Seventh quirk, Machine God. So she can go into any machine she wants by just touching it. She can summon machine parts by just thinking about them. She can grow wings by thinking of sacrificing her life for others. And any damage anybody would take, she instead gets. But she cannot heal at all during this. Abomination is literally just the atrocity skill from Maple from I don't want to get her, so I'll put all my points in defense. That anime. Nightmare of Night. The darker it is in the spot, the more vicious she becomes. I forget what the light one was, but the day. The lighter it is in a spot, the kinder she becomes. and the more docile she becomes. And the ability to heal is better. Her regeneration is almost instantaneous, and she gains the ability to heal depending on how bright the light is. You know what rewind is, so yeah. So the mercenaries opened fire on Eri because Eri had the kill switch. If she dies, both she has a dead man switch in her. So if Eri dies, both Rose and Deanne die with her. And they didn't account for the energy that the bullets create when they start shooting. So they start shooting, and Rose is like, nope. Cuts all energy to the gunpowder, or the powder that they use in the bullets, and she flings it back at them at max speed. So all the mercenaries are dead. The scientist gets shot in the knees, kneecapped. And Deanne is now hugging Eri, because Eri's now screaming because she heard gunshots. And Eri's calming down because it's super bright LEDs in the room. And Deanne still doesn't trust Aizawa, but she does trust him a little bit more to at least protect Eri from a bullet. Grenade, she would jump in front. A train, she would jump in front. So they're taken out of the facility, and they're taken to UA. Rose, Deanne, and Eri are all taken to UA and put in a dorm. They're put in a separate dorm housing for them, because they are taller than the average person, they're stronger than the average person, and they're more intelligent than the average person. And the lights were off in the building, and Rose immediately turned them on. And they asked, why did you turn them on? And she goes, for your safety, not ours, because one of her quirks is Nightmare of Night. And they go, what does that do? And she goes, Nightmare of Night makes her more aggressive in the dark. The only very trusted people around her that she subconsciously trusts with her entire life, she would not attack in Nightmare of the Night mode. So if it's dark at any point, like pitch black at any point, run as fast as possible. They go, okay, we will. And Eri's now calling, because she's basically grown so attached to Deanne. She calls Deanne mommy and Rose mama. So Eri asks Deanne if she's gonna get food today, and Deanne goes, yes, she will. And Eri's eyes widen, going, really? Normally they don't give us food till Friday, or till tomorrow. And she goes, well, today we're going to somewhere special, and this place is not like those mean jerks that hurt us. No, this is different. And Aizawa heard what she called Deanne and Rose, and a teardrop fell from his face. And Rose asks, why are you sad? And he goes, I'm sad because a little child like her, like a little ball of sunshine, was messed up by people like them. And Rose goes, yeah. So people like you guys don't care about insignificant worms like me, Deanne, and Ari. He goes, that's not true. I do. And he goes, okay, I'll bring you these things called donuts tomorrow. And both Deanne and Shota go, really? And Ari goes, what are donuts? And Deanne goes, donuts are really good. And Deanne asks for a whole box of bacon-covered donuts. On the other hand, Shota asks for a whole box of jelly-filled donuts. And they ask for a small little box of like 5 or 6 for Ari. That's all different kinds. And he goes, sure. They get to the building, which they're just walking in now, and Deanne sees the completely white room, and she hugs Ari really tightly, and Shota walks up and hugs them, saying, it's fine, it's fine. This is not like the room that we were just in. And Aizawa sees this reaction and goes, we made this room white because we didn't know what colors you liked, so we're going to ask for your input on the colors. And Deanne says, my favorite color is blue, like the ocean. I've seen pictures of the ocean. I think it's pretty blue. And Shota, or not Shota, damn it. That's who Rose is replacing. Rose says, I do like blue, but I like, I don't know what I like. I haven't really thought about it. And he goes, okay, just tell me when you think about it, because if you guys want, we can make a permanent room for all of you, or we could make separate rooms for all of you. So Ari could have a room that's her color. Deanne and you, Rose, can have a room for your colors. And you guys, when you're tired and just need to get away, you can go into your room and have some time to yourself. And she goes, okay. That makes sense. And Nezu walks in, saying, hello, I'm Nezu. And Shota goes, oh. Ari looks at him and goes, is he food? And Shota goes, no. Food doesn't talk. Ari goes, but I'm hungry. And Deanne goes, what does that smell? Ari doesn't smell it because she doesn't have heightened senses. She was about to get heightened senses. And she goes, what smell? And Deanne runs to the kitchen and sees the cafeteria chef cooking for them. And he goes, I have a giant slab of ribs on the barbecue outside, and I have many more slabs of ribs in the fridge if you want raw, but I prefer if you'd eat the barbecue ones. I have a nice vegetable stew for the little one, and these are all ingredients that I grown myself, so it will be perfectly natural and safe for you to eat. And I swear upon my life, if you guys get food poisoning from any of this, I shall commit seppuku. And Rose walks in, you're like, whoa, that's a little far. Maybe cut off a hand, but don't commit seppuku. And he goes, thank you for your generosity. I will cut off a hand if you get food poisoning. And he vows to do this, and Aizawa's like, that's a little far, but since he does only make good food for people, I kind of see where he's coming from. So he finishes up the food, and he brings it out to the table, and they're about to use their hands. And he goes, whoa. Have you been using your hands your entire life? And Deanne goes, yeah. Rose goes, no, but I don't see any utensils. And he goes, I just brought them. And he puts them down, and she goes, what the hell are these? I see a weapon. I see an embalming tool. And they look at her and go, And Rose goes, they're a fork and a spoon. And she goes, why the hell would I need fork and spoon for pieces of meat? You just eat it with your hands. And she goes, I'll teach you tomorrow. You need to learn. And Rose, being the civilized one in the group, Deanne being the more barbarian-esque one, Ari being the child. Every day they go to training. Not hard training, but just to see how far they can go by pushing themselves to the limits, and someone writing it down, and they go, okay, you can go home if you want. I'd like you to stay if you are willing to do some more training. And Deanne did all the training in one day because she's a monster on the endurance scale. And Shota said, sure, I'll come back tomorrow. And Ari just wasn't allowed to do it yet. They told Ari, and I made Ari 2 and they're 6, so Ari would be, they're 18. Ari would be 14. They told Ari that she will be doing this in a month when the tests for Shota or for Rose are done. And Aizawa walks in one day and asks the biggest question that everybody's been waiting for. What are your full names? And Deanne flinches at that, and Rose goes, oh, crap. And Deanne gets pissed off. And she goes, why the hell do you want my full name? Huh? Want to give me back to that bitch who sold me off? And she's now yelling because she remembers everything that her mother did to her before she was given away. Because her ability was photographic memory, and she can remember everything, including her birth. So, she starts yelling, and Ari is getting freaked out, and Rose walks over to Ari and hugs her, saying, it's not good what she's seen. It's fine. She does this whenever her name's brought up. And Ari starts to calm down slightly, and she starts to cry of how bad her mommy was treated before she met Ari. And Deanne hears her crying and sniffling, and she stops yelling and walks over to Ari and says, sorry, I lost my cool. I will try not to do it again. And Aizawa goes, okay, I understand. We would like to know your name so we can file you under our school applicants and get you into our school so you can stay on UA grounds longer. And Rose goes, I will tell you our names, but on one condition. And he goes, what is that condition? You cannot say our names ever. And if you do, myself and Deanne are slaughtering this entire school. And he goes, stop there. That is enough. Slaughtering the entire school is enough. Don't need to go any further. And she goes, I was going to say, and we'd torture the one who said our names out loud. He goes, that's fine. He goes, I will give you your letters, and it will be said by me. I will be your teacher later, if Nezu approves. And they go, okay. So who's gonna know my name? And that's Deanne asking, and he goes, only the staff of UA. No one else. If a staff member says the name, we will dish them up on a silver platter for you, because we know that you can eradicate everybody in Japan in one day. And she goes, at least you know my strength. And he goes, yeah, we know your strength. So, we'll put down the rules of the name and put down a contract that if they break this contract, they will be served up on a silver platter to you and um, Rose here. And if Ari wants to come into the torture session, she can. And they go, no, she's not seen any violence. No, no, no. And he goes, yeah, I just make sure that they're at tip-top shape before they go back on a mission. And he goes, okay, makes sense. But let's get on with that talk. And Rose leads him into her room because they've finally painted her room. It's a rainbow of colors. It's literally a rainbow around the room because she can't decide. She can't decide of what her favorite color is. So it's a mixture of blue, pink, and purple. Blue, pink, and white. No, purple, pink, and white. It's a mix of purple, pink, and white. So all of her furniture is white. Her rug is purple. Her walls are pink, and the roof of the room is purple. And Aizawa walks in and goes, okay, and sits down. She sits down on the oversized chair that she needs to sit in. And she says, my name is Rose Todoroki. And his eyes widen. And she goes, oh, don't start yet. Her name out there is Deanne Midoriya. His eyes widen even more, and he goes, what? And she goes, yeah. I am the missing Todoroki, and I saw the wanted posters. I'm not gonna ever go back to that, or the missing posters. I'm not going back to that asshole that sold me off. And he goes, what do you mean? And he goes, well, my father sold me off, and my mother is probably in a insane asylum, saying that he's an asshole who sold off one of his daughters. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. But he goes, who? Okay, so I know your father and your mother are at odds, and your mother is in an insane asylum, because I don't know why, but she just is. And she goes, okay, so what now? And he goes, well, we are going to arrest Deanne's mother for the sale of her child. And she goes, you can't. And he goes, why? And she goes, Deanne is quirkless. And he goes, what? She goes, yeah, there's no laws protecting quirkless people from being sold off. It's only laws that are protecting the average citizen, which is now the average is quirk people. And he goes, she has a quirk though. And she goes, she didn't start out that way. I remember meeting her and she was quirkless. And we became friends because we had a similar background of being hurt and abused by our parents. He goes, I don't care if the law doesn't protect her. I'm going to arrest her mother. And she goes, you can try, but nothing's going to happen. He goes, I don't care. I'm still going to do it. She has a quirk, so I can just say that she had a quirk when she was born. And she goes, ooh, good idea, but can you prove it? And he goes, no. She goes, exactly. He then says, I know. I could say she was dormant. She had a dormant quirk, because there's been people who have been who have had dormant quirks. And she goes, yeah, but her genetic code, if you search it up in the past, did not have the gene of a quirked person. She did not have the quirk gene. And he goes, damn. what now? And Shota goes, oh, don't worry, we can just have Eri forge it. He goes, what? And she goes, yeah, Eri can hack into any electronic to do whatever she wants with it. And he goes, okay, when can we do this? And she goes, tomorrow, while Deanne's out getting groceries. And thank you for the donut. It's the first day we were here. Those were good. And he goes, you want me to get them again? And she goes, yeah, apparently Eri likes ramen and cinnamon rolls. He goes, ooh. A child after my own heart. And she goes, what'd she say? And he goes, nothing. I like ramen and cinnamon rolls too, so she'll get a treat if she can do it. And she goes, no, it's not if she can do it. It's when she can do it. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, she can only activate her machine god quirk once a day. If she summons the armor, she can only do that. She uses it to hack. She's in hacker mode all day until midnight, when she resets. He goes, okay, that makes sense. What now? And she goes, well, now you must leave before the moon comes out. And he goes, oh yeah, I'll talk to you later. I'll see you later. And Eri's currently playing a game with Deanne. She's playing a game of Go Fish, and Deanne's sorely losing, because even though she has photographic memory, she goes easy on Eri, because she wants Eri to have fun and laugh. The first game that they played at Go Fish, Deanne won. Second game, Eri won. And ever since, Eri has been getting actually better at remembering things. And she's been getting used to figuring things out. So, Eri has been using games to learn, unlike Deanne and Rose, who use the trainer to learn. So we go to the first day of UA, and Eri is told that she can't leave the house for a good 3 hours. When she sees Deanne or Rose come back, that's when she can leave the house. And she goes, okay. And she's in full demon mode now. So she looks like this a little, with the organic armor and no wings. That's what she looks like. Ooh, divide music. Vivid Vice. Ooh. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. For you, it was an instant. For me, it was like a few minutes. And so later, Deanne leaves, and Eri gets the cinnamon roll, and she's told that she'll get ramen if she does something for somebody. And she gladly does it, and she changes the birth history of Deanne Midoriya to have a dormant quirk, or to have a quirk gene and not be a quirkless person. So Aizawa takes it to court. He gets her arrest a warrant for someone selling someone off into slavery, and then he's like, okay, that's one bitch down, another asshole to go. My cat's about to sneeze. It's freaking hilarious. So he gets an arrest warrant for Endeavor. Endeavor says, you can't prove anything. And he goes, oh, yes, I can. And your daughter's going to be a witness. He goes, my daughter's dead. She died when she was 4 because she overused her quirk. And he goes, no, you sold her off. And we have her at UA, so if you try to attack her and you try to get rid of her so you can stay a hero and have your delusions of grandeur and what you want to is beat All Might, then go ahead, attack her. So, we go to the first day of UA. Endeavor has been arrested. Inko Midoriya has been arrested for selling someone off into slavery and profiteering, or child profiteering. I think that's what it's called. Endeavor has been arrested for pretty much the same thing, but he gave his daughter for free, so child abandonment. And so Endeavor's in jail, Inko's in jail. They're not showing back up in the story. Because Endeavor was given a deal. If he admits to his crimes, he can be a hero again once he comes out of jail, as long as he doesn't do it again. He agreed. Inko was given a life sentence for killing her husband and selling her daughter off into slavery. So she's stuck there. And she doesn't have a strong quirk at all. She has the canon quirk. So it's the first day of UA. And Rose and Deanne walk into the classroom and they go to the back of the classroom and sit down. They sit down in the normal seats, and Deanne is just waiting and talking with Rose, and Rose is listening to Deanne's mumbling and ranting. And Ari was told that if she leaves the house when she is on the 3 hours that they're supposed to be in school, she won't get any cinnamon rolls for a week. And if she leaves after without telling them, she won't get any ramen for a week. So she's inclined to stay. Like crap, squirrels are tearing out a tree. But so Aizawa walks in, goes, "Okay, everybody, into the changing room. We're about to go and get the fitness test out of the way, because you need a fitness test so I can see where you are as potential heroes." And Bakugo is still his canon self. Everybody is their canon selves except for Hagakure. Yeah, except for Hagakure. She has the Cheshire quirk. So Hagakure is looking at this mass of a woman, asks how old she is, and she goes, "I'm 18. And then she looks at the other mass of a woman and says, "How old is she?" And she says she's 18. And everybody looks at them like, "You look 20." And they both go, "We know." And it's taking all of Deanne's strength to not knock them all out, get changed, and then walk out. Because she was beaten into the mindset of, or the muscle memory of, make sure no one sees you. So she gets dressed, she walks out, and she's at the training field, and she says, "Are you sure I need to do this? Because you've already seen what I can do." And he goes, just humor me. I know you don't want to do this. I know you don't want to be in public, but just humor me. And she goes, "Fine." So Rose gets out there, and She is currently just standing there. And she's like, I'm bored. So she pops her... God damn it, my cats are fighting. No fighting. So they're what was it? So they're just standing there. Shota pops 2 sets of the spider legs, and she just hangs there then. Because she can lock her spider legs in place so she doesn't have to exert energy. So she's just hanging there, and Deanne's like, lucky. And she goes, you could do it with your tail. She goes, I know. It's a lot harder to get comfortable on my tail. And she goes, true. I just hang here. And everybody gets out there, and they see them, and they're talking like they've been together like they're a couple for many years. Which they basically have been. And Mineta perved out so hard. Because he wanted to see both of them without clothes on. So he was trying to see through the hole. But they were already gone when he finally got to see through the hole. So everybody gets canon except for Izuku, because he's not there, and Shoto, who's not there. Ow. So Deanne she throws it at Max. She's stronger than All Might. 3,694.23. She gets that, and for just a normal one, and Shota says, I need to kind of stand back a little, or all of you to stand back, and Deanne goes, this is going to be fun! And one quirk that she's never showed anybody is she used her gigantification to increase her size so she wouldn't get blown back. And Shota goes, or not Shota, Rose goes, you grew again. And she goes, damn it! And she shrinks. And Aizawa's like, is that why you requested all your clothes be made out of your own hair? And she goes, yep. He goes, makes sense. Keep going. And Edgar's like, wait, what? What? And he's like, oh, crap, I need to tell them your names. And they go, sure. But only that name, not the other one. And he goes, yeah, I understand. So he goes to the final test of the race. And it's been 2 hours and 45 minutes. And someone appears in front of Deanne and says, I'm bored. And Deanne chuckles at this, going, yeah, I'm a little bored too. And Rose heard this and goes, so you're going to ditch class, are you? And she gives a lovely little smile, and Deanne knows that Rose can easily whoop her butt. Because Rose is a long-range fighter. You put a long-range fighter against a melee combat fighter with the same armor and same weapons, or same armor and their preferred weapons. The ranged combat fighter is going to win. Especially since the ranged combat fighter would be like a magician. Or like a mage. Or a warlock or a witch. Whatever you want to call it. And she goes, no, and she goes, Aerie. And Aerie goes, yeah. And Rose goes, did you sneak out? And she goes, no, I didn't sneak out. I left a note. And she goes, that's sneaking out. She goes, but on the missions, you left notes when I went up. And they go, we were forced to leave. You have to tell Midnight before you leave. And she goes, oh, I'll be right back. She disappears. Everybody's seeing this conversation, and Aizawa's laughing his butt off because he knows what's about to happen. Midnight, you hear a scream from across UA because Midnight was not expecting Eri to appear right in front of her. And whenever you see a demonish child appear right in front of you, it's instinct to scream, or at least jump back in some way. And Eri goes, oh, calm down. I'm leaving. Bye. And disappears again. And Midnight faints because she was not expecting that, and her brain and heart got overloaded. So she fainted. She goes back to Deanne, and she's like, I'm bored. And Rose goes, so you left without telling her, so that's no ramen for a week. And Ari's like, oh crap. And then Deanne goes, and you left before the 3 hours is over. I understand why, but no cinnamon rolls for a week. And she's, but. And they go, no buts at the same time. And Rose walks up behind Deanne and hugs her, going, you were about to leave, weren't you? And she goes, no, she goes, yes, you were. And she whispers something into Deanne's ear, and Deanne visibly pales at this. And they're like, oh, what's going on? And I'm going to leave it right there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Talk to you guys later.